Hey everybody, welcome back to Wellness Minutes. I'm here with my good friend Ryan Christopher again. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Do you think anyone noticed we filmed all three of these videos in one place, but we changed shirts? Or shouldn't I tell people that?
I know, this is my permanent setup. That's what everybody needs to know, that this is where I live, even though this is not the case whatsoever. But if this could be my office every day, I would be in heaven.
Well, and behind me, I have wallpaper on my wall. So if I'm not using a green screen, people always say, wait, are you out in your garden? Because it looks like I'm in a forest, even though it's wallpaper on the wall,
I love it.
I was cruising through Europe and just something made me go in this print and wallpaper store in Amsterdam, and I saw it and I went, I gotta have that. How much does it come? 14-foot roll. Yeah, I want one. Ship it. That's how I bought it. Okay, because it's so prevalent in the market, we need to talk about needle rolling, nano rolling, micro needling. I want to go back to scope of practice. I want to talk about millimeters. So let's have at it.
Right. So when it comes to, there are two different devices out in the market right now. Technically three if you include the rollers, but microneedling, nanoneedling. Microneedling devices do use needles that have a wider diameter and do actually puncture the surface of the skin. So most microneedle devices have to be used in a medical facility by someone that is either an esthetician under the supervision of a licensed physician, or they have to be a medical practitioner like a registered nurse or a doctor in order to perform the service. I will say that I see in a lot of states, I see a lot of estheticians working in medical offices underneath a physician, but I do want to caution everybody, a lot of times you are, in certain states, you're not exempt just because you're working with a physician. You still have to abide by your own scope of practice as an esthetician. So just be cautious because there can be issues. But I will say with nanoneedling is completely different. So the length of the needles do not puncture the skin. In most of these devices, they're not actually needles themselves. They're more like microscopic points. And so these microscopic points that are like 1/3 the width of a human hair, they're so microscopic and tiny, they more just kind of push the skin cells out of the way to help open up transepidermal pathways for skincare active ingredients to penetrate in the skin. I've not found any states in the U.S. so far where nanoneedling is not available for an esthetician to provide. Most states do allow for nanoneedling, whereas microneedling still can be a medical service, and some estheticians, depending on, like I said, physician supervision or not.
Okay, when we have the opportunity, I would love to see you do a micro and a nano. We'll do some videos if it's okay with you when you're in your studio. I think
would love to do some videos, and I'll tell you too. So we're a month away from the June Las Vegas show, and I will be at booth 606 with COSMEDIX. I have two classes. I have a Saturday afternoon class and a Sunday morning class, and I will be demonstrating a nano needling pen along with the COSMEDIX skincare. So
I love it. All right, did you get that, my listeners? It's IECSC in Las Vegas. It's booth 606 and 2 education center sessions. So look up Ryan Christopher.
Yep.
Okay,
an exact 1 month from now. Did you realize that? It's June 15th.
No, I don't even know how we're midway through May. So don't even talk about June with me.
I know, it's crazy.
In fact, I'm going to Spa Tech this weekend at Turnberry in Miami.
Oh, I love Turnberry.
I'm coming home, and then I'm turning around, and I'm going to We Work Well with Monica Helmstetter and team at Langham on the coast, and then I'm going to come home, turn around, and go to Vegas for ICSC, which, by the way, is my single favorite show of the year.
It's one of my favorites as well, but I mean, I don't know, that Turnberry property is quite fabulous as well.
It is. That's why I'm going in early Sunday morning. So
what you're saying is that you're just going to be asleep at the Vegas show. You're walking around. You're not actually going to be conscious.
People think we're mostly ADD. They don't realize, like, when I'm done and I turn it off, it's a 100% turn off down to 0, right? The
light switch, yes.
You said two things I want to address real quick. Micro needling actually punctures the skin.
Yes.
An esthetician may be able to do it, but most likely needs a doctor in attendance. Did I hear that correctly?
Correct. You need to reach out to your state board, and you need to reach out to your liability insurance coverage to find out if they would cover you for that treatment, to make sure that you as an individual are legally allowed to do it, even if you are in a doctor's office or not. Not all states allow estheticians to practice microneedling just because they're in a facility with a physician.
You know, you bring up a good point. I just made a note. I'm going to ask, we have a couple different insurance companies we just refer out to. I'm going to ask them about micro and nano and make sure that so if I introduce you by email because they have questions, you'll know it's from me, right?
Okay, totally. Yeah, I'd be glad to answer questions.
And the other thing you talked about was nano needling, which doesn't really puncture, but kind of spreads the skin cells apart to allow it to work on the skin.
Yes. And I mean, so basically the nano needles are not long needles. They're more shaped out of a silicone material, no heavy metals, but they are shaped like little microscopic points, almost like little pyramids. Some devices, the tips I've seen, have more little spherical ends as opposed to points. But the thing is that they're nano size, which means they're microscopic. I said before, they're 1/3 the width of a human hair, which is tiny. So it is in essence puncturing the skin, but not really, because it's really just pushing skin cells out of the way. Also, the depth of the nano needling tip is not as deep and can't be adjusted to go as deep as a traditional medical needling pen.
But I'm guessing it's only like a 0.25, which or something like that, which would keep everyone in compliance.
Typically all of the nano needling tips are below 1 millimeter, so you're or nanometers, so you don't have to worry about actually getting down into the dermis. Yeah. And remember, as estheticians, our scope of practice is the outermost layer of the epidermis, so that's where we stay.
I want to close with one thing, although it's hard to close with you because between the two of us, we keep yakking, okay?
I always find something to talk about.
Yeah. Can you address microcurrent devices, the kind of conductivity gel you need? How does that work?
So it's funny, you know, when I was the director of education of a skincare school, we taught with multiple microcurrent devices. And, you know, for the sake of cost, we would use an ultrasound gel. So we bought from this medical supply company because ultrasound gels are really inexpensive. At the same time, they have no skincare benefits whatsoever. It is literally just a glycerin-based water-soluble gel. And so it conducts the current, but it doesn't do anything for the skin. Last year, in my partnership with COSMEDIX, I was able to help formulate a product called our Relief Soothing Peptide Gel. So we created a sodium hyaluronate water-soluble gel that also includes an epidermal growth factor. It includes multiple ingredients that act as anti-inflammatories in the skin. So you don't have to use you don't have to use ultrasound gel or a cheap gel necessarily with your microcurrent service, as long as you account for the cost of whatever the gel it is that you're using. But you do have to use a water-soluble gel. There are a lot of those in the market with certain brands. Like I said, I designed one specifically with COSMEDIX, but it just gives you skincare benefits while you're doing the microcurrent service.
And we're gonna finish on that note. Always, again, lots of great information from you, and I get to see you in, is it 4 weeks in Las Vegas, right?
4 weeks away, we'll be in hot Vegas.
I love it. Ryan, again, thank you for everything. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Great to talk to you, Allan. Bye, everyone.